Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my first Redstone tutorial. So I like to work with Redstone. I have been practicing with it now for a little while. Not real complex stuff, but enough to get an idea of how it works. See, one of the things that makes me understand Redstone a little bit, and I'm not saying this is the only way that you can understand it, but I'm an electrician by trade, so I'm used to circuits. I'm used to having to have a power source and a way for that power to get to something, and then having something use that power to work. And so what I want to talk to you about today, first and foremost, is Redstone Basics. Different power sources, how those power sources can be used, how you have to get the power from one place to another, and so forth. Just wanted to show you something real quick, just a little something that I was working on. I'm working on my building skills, and I kind of like this. This kind of got the starts of a Great Hall kind of a thing, and so. I was thinking this would be cool for like a murder mystery, whodunit kind of a thing. Come into the Great Hall, into the Great Library, and there's furniture around, and you're just kind of walking around trying to figure out who done it. And you're back here, you're looking at the books in the library, and you're like, "Ooh, did I hear something? What's going on? I heard something. I'm kind of scared. What do I do? What? Oh, what's that? What is that?" It's a secret door. So you go through the secret door, and you walk down a hallway and everything, and it's pretty cool. Hello? There we go. Okay. So how did I do this? How did I accomplish this? Well, I accomplished this by two things. We got the pressure plate over there on one side. We got the button here. I don't know why things are kind of lagging out on me a little bit. My frame rate is not bad. It's, I'm at 20. For the laptop that I use and for the fact that I'm recording at the same time, 20 is not bad. So, but you got the pressure plate on one side, right over there. You got the button here. And then if you start looking at how this all works, if I take this out, you can see down underneath that I've got redstone. Ooh, we're going to fall in someplace. So if I push the button, redstone becomes energized, you see? And it works its way all the way through here, and it ends up coming back here to all of this. Okay, this is what makes redstone work. Okay, so in order to understand this, first we have to come over here, and we have to understand all of this. Okay. Again, this is a Redstone Basics thing today. So, to get started with Redstone, you have to have a power source. There's 4 basic power sources that you can choose from. You've got your redstone torch. You make a redstone torch just the way you would a regular charcoal or coal torch. Just a stick and a piece of redstone, just like you'd use a stick and a piece of charcoal or a stick and a piece of coal to make a torch. It's a stick and a piece of redstone for a redstone torch. Okay, this redstone torch provides power, and so if I come over to this with a block that requires redstone to work, place that block, this is a redstone lamp, comes on. Okay, but if I move it over one block, go this way, now there's no direct connection between the torch and the lamp, so the lamp doesn't work. Okay, so I either have to have a torch right next to the block that I'm trying to power, and that block could be anything. It could be a lamp, it could be a door, it could be a piston, it could be a dispenser or a dropper. So whatever you're trying to use the redstone to control, you either have to have it, right next to it, or you got to be able to get the power from the redstone source over to the device. So what we use for that is Redstone Dust. Redstone Dust is kind of like the wire in an electrical circuit. So we'll plop down some redstone dust. The redstone, if I put redstone dust down out here and just by itself, see it's kind of that dull red. But if I come over here, it's glowing, okay, because it's being powered by this redstone source. That power comes through the redstone dust into the device that's using it and powers it, okay. So that's the redstone torch. Now we can do the same thing right next door with this device. This is a lever, okay. Levers are crafted out of a stick and a piece of cobblestone. So, and the switch can be toggled back and forth, okay. And again, if I put the device I'm trying to control right next to it and click it, then it's going to work, okay. But if I move it over a block, again, whoops, darn it. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so if I move it over again, nothing's going to happen unless redstone. Okay, turn it off, light goes off. Okay, there's always going to be a slight delay in how that works. All right. Next up, we've got the pressure plate. The pressure plate is actuated by weight. Okay, so if I want to make this work, I've got to have redstone and I got to have a device. And if I stand on that, it's going to come on. Okay, but that's not the only way a pressure plate can be actuated. A pressure plate can be actuated either by a player standing on it or a mob standing on it. So it's not a good idea, unless it's like a mob trap kind of a thing, to use a pressure plate outside. You want to make sure you use your pressure plates inside well-lit areas so that there's no monsters that spawn and they don't get on your pressure plate and then come and attack you while you're working at a crafting bench or something. Okay? Or you can also trigger that by taking a block and putting it on there. Okay? So they do pick up the weight of blocks that are dropped on them. Okay? You can use that to your benefit sometimes if you want to hold one open for a minute or two. So there is that option. Okay? And then the last device, the last basic device, is a button. Okay? So redstone there and lamp here, and push the button, light comes on. The button will release itself in just a second. Redstone goes off, light goes off. Okay? So redstone torch, lever, pressure plate, button. Okay. Now there's some other advanced, a little bit more advanced redstone triggers, redstone power sources that you can use. The next one I wanted to tell you about is the tripwire hook. You're going to find these in temples. You can also find them in, adventure maps and things like that. The way that these work is you need a tripwire hook for each side of the opening that you're trying to protect or trigger or whatever. There has to be one block between them. I think, do I still have some? I can do this way. Let's get rid of that and get the tripwire hook. And we also need a piece of string. You need string and tripwire hooks to make this work. Okay, so let's see here. Whoops. Let's go over here, and if I put a block down, you hear when I crossed over that it clicked? Okay, so that's how that works. So I do that, and I do this, and then I go, let's see, up there. So if I go over here, so now there's going to be two blocks in between the tripwire hooks. See, that occupies that block. There's an empty block. This one wires this one. So can I do that? Nope. Cannot. Okay. Aha! You can. Oops. Darn it. Rats. Okay, so you have to put the string down across the opening. Alright? And if I go across this... Ooh, what's that? I don't know. Okay. Oh. 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 Okay. So if we, whoops, sorry about that, bumped my microphone. So if I put a piece of redstone over, whoops, not there, over there, and got my redstone lamp over there like that, and I trip this wire, light will come on, okay? And I can do that on either side, it doesn't matter. So let's put a piece there and there. Okay, so by tripping that wire, both of those redstone tripwire hooks get activated, and they activate redstone on each side. You can use that for any number of different things. Like I said, you're going to find them in not dungeons, but temples, and also in a lot of adventure maps. Now, if you're a seasoned player and you're watching where you're going, you can see that tripwire hook, and you can jump over it. Oops, I didn't jump far enough. Okay, so, but you can jump over them, or you can just trigger it, and then it's gone. So, all right. Okay, the last one I want to show you, the last triggering device that I want to show you is the daylight sensor. The way the daylight sensor works is during the day, it will give off a redstone signal. See how that redstone's not illuminated? Unlike if I were to come over here and put a piece of redstone there, that's illuminated. So the daylight sensor is looking for light. There isn't any. And so it's going to be in a de-energized state until the sun comes up, which will be shortly, but I'm going to push it along. And that can be very useful. Let's say I've got an underground base. I'm on a server, so there's a ton of people. And they're all out grinding mobs and getting XP, and all I want to do is just stay safe until morning. Okay, so what I can do is I can hook up one of these daylight sensors to a redstone string, and then put a light downstairs in my base, and when the sun comes up, set the time to day. When the sun comes up, there we go. When the sun comes up, look at what happens. This picks up the light and energizes that redstone. So now the light's on. So here I am, I'm downstairs. I can't see whether it's daylight or not, but I got this redstone lamp and a bunch of redstone, and so now I know when it's daylight. Okay, so that's one use for a daylight sensor. The other is, let's say I want my lights to come on automatically when it gets dark. Okay, that requires a little bit more technical stuff. You have to craft something. Well, it's not really craft. You just have to lay it out. You have to lay out something called a NOT gate. And what a NOT gate does is it basically inverts the redstone signal. It takes a signal that is on and turns it into a signal that is off. Okay? This block can only be powered from one direction. That's the way that I explain it. That's the way that I see it. So this block can only be powered from one direction, and so it's going to get its power primarily from the redstone dust. All right, and as such, when it does that, it forces this to go to its opposing state. So it's going to force it to go off. And then I can, since it's off, I can hook this up to a light, and the light doesn't work. Okay, but then, here I am. I'm working away in my library over there, and it starts getting late. Time set. Let's go with 15,000. That's a nice dark time of night. Okay, time set to 15,000, and watch this. Daylight sensor goes off. This torch comes on, that light comes on. And that's what I've done over here. Come up here on top of my little library thing, and there's my daylight sensor, and here is my here's my redstone, my NOT gate, and the NOT gate. Wait a minute. I don't know that that's working right, because that is not going into the block, and that's something that we're going to talk about here in just a minute. Let's try something. Well, wait a minute. Let's just do this. Boom. Boom. Times that day. Okay. Let the daylight come out. Aha. Okay. So it's not working. Why? Because this redstone here wants to continue going straight, and it can't. because there's no place for it to go. Now I can do one of two things here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that out, I'm going to take that out, and I'm going to leave that there. And I'm going to get another one of these daylight sensors right here. And we're going to, well, we're done with the tripwires, so we'll put that away. So we'll get that right there like so, and we'll put it right, no, not that, silly. Get that right there, put that there, put that there. There we go. Now, hello? Really? No? Not going to do it for me? No? There we go. Okay, so daylight sensor picks up light, powers this redstone, turns these lights off. Okay? Come down inside, lights are off. Go to, well, I don't know why I keep doing that. I can just arrow up to the command that I want, set it for dark, dark 30, and lights come on. Okay, I can prove that they're on. I mean, I can see that they're on, but I can prove that they're on by coming up here and see redstone's energized. Okay, so very useful tool. The daylight sensor, tripwires, NOT gates, very useful tools. And I use a NOT gate over there in the trick door. We're going to talk about that in a separate episode, because we still got a few things we want to talk about when it comes to actual redstone mechanics. So, you know, here I am. I got a light here. I want to make that light work. Okay, and I don't want to have to put a torch right there next to it, because that's tacky. You know, if I can do this in such a way, you know, I could do this. I could go underneath and put it down there, and I could hide it with a piece of grass. You know. That's what I did with all these that are sitting out here by themselves. And that's fine, but it doesn't allow me to control the circuit very well. So what I can do is I can actually, whoops, that's not what I want. I can, you know, route this redstone out a ways and, you know, maybe hide the torch out here behind something, and then the redstone lamp is going to work, and you're not going to be able to see the mechanics that are controlling it. Because I can, you know, build walls and hide things. You know, there's a way around a lot of that stuff. But we run into a problem if we have to go a long way. So let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's say we want to go 20 blocks. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, well, let's take that one out. We want to go 20 blocks. Okay, so there's 20 blocks, and my light's not working. The reason why that is because redstone only will transmit a signal for 15 blocks. And you can kind of see this, you know, back here it's nice and bright, and as you get farther away from it, it gets duller and duller and duller and duller, and the particles get smaller and smaller until you get to a point right about here where the particles go away completely and it's just regular colored redstone. Okay, so I can fix that though. I can make it so that that works even though we're more than 15 blocks away, and we do that with a redstone repeater. Okay, now the redstone repeater flows in the direction that you place it in. So if I place it that way, redstone's going to want to go that way. Okay, that's not what I want though. I want to power that light. So plop that down in there like that, and it's like a signal booster. It picks up the redstone signal coming in and then pumps it right back out at full intensity and allows me to go another 15 blocks. If I need to go more than that, drop another repeater in, go another 15 blocks, and so on. Okay, so that right there can become very, very useful. If you've got a large redstone project, it makes it very, very handy. Now you can also change the properties of the repeater. Right here, no delay. It basically brings in and puts right back out. Okay, I can change that so that it has a delay on it. So now, if I come over here and I drop that out, see it doesn't turn off right away? Okay. The other thing I can do is I can come right here and I can plop this torch down and then it has a delay down there. So what I've done is I've introduced a tick delay. All this stuff works on ticks, and there's a certain number of ticks per minute, per frame, all that good stuff. And so what I did was I delayed that by 1 tick. Okay, I can come down here and I can delay it again. Let's put it on max delay. Go back down here one more time. Break that redstone torch. See, it's still on. Okay, now it's off. And see, it's still not on. There it goes. So we introduced a longer delay. And the more repeaters that you put in, you can build up that delay. If you don't want something to happen right away, put in a repeater. Increase the number of ticks, and then everything will be fine. Everything will delay out, and you can make a lot of really cool things happen with that. Now, redstone does have some limitations. Okay, like I said, it'll only go 15 blocks, and it has to have a continuous path. Okay, so I can take redstone and I can put it here and put it here, and I can make it go up on top of a block. And let's say I need to go up a little higher, so I can make it keep going. And put a block there and a block there, and some more redstone here, and a block here, and a block here. And we'll do one more block right there, and we'll do a piston. Okay, and then we'll do some, well, you know what, don't worry about that. Don't worry about the piston. Just put a lamp up there. Okay, and put another piece of redstone down here. Okay, and I can put a source, and light comes on. Okay, so redstone can be stair-stepped, which is handy. That comes in very handy if you got to get to a higher place, or like I said earlier in that example, where I'm down in a cave, maybe my base is underground, and I want to know when it's daylight out. Then I can stair-step the redstone down to me from the daylight sensor and light up something down in my base. Okay, but let's say I've got to go a couple of different directions. All right, so let's see. If I go right here and put a block and put a block, put a block. All right, so I want to go, actually, yeah, right there's fine. So here and then here, nope, not there. What did I do wrong? Oh, I know I did it wrong. I do want to go here. So there and there. Oh, see, I want to put another light up here. I want to put a light right here, you see? So that I have 2 lights. But I can't do that. I can't go that way because this block breaks the path for the redstone going underneath. Now there is something I can do about that. I can go like this. That restores the path to that light. And I can also put in a half slab. Okay. If I put in a half slab right here, and I put a piece of redstone on that, now the half slab will allow the redstone to go through that way, and then it can double back and go up. See how it did that? And I can break all that extra stuff out, and now I've got 1 source, 2 lights, opposing directions, and this stair step thing that we're talking about and this gap that we're talking about allows us to do stuff like this. Okay. We have, for our bookcase sliding door, we have 5 different pistons, sticky pistons. In order to make a sliding door like this, it has to be sticky pistons. Sticky pistons are made with a regular piston and a slime ball. Okay, put a slime ball on top of the sticky piston, and what that'll allow it to do is whatever block you place next to the extendable side of a piston, it'll get stuck to it, so that it'll push the block out. And when you take the power away, it'll pull the block back. Okay, so the normal state for these doors is energized so that they stay closed. Okay, that comes from right over here. Right down in this hole, I've got a torch. That torch powers this block. That block powers that redstone, and it stair steps its way all the way through this to power all 5 of those pistons. Okay, but then on the other side, we've got, should be right there. Yeah, on the other side, we've got some redstone down here that goes all the way underneath here and goes up here to the button and the pressure plate on the other side. So if I hit this button right now, that redstone gets powered, comes down here, and turns off that redstone torch. So it's another NOT gate. Just came back on, doors just closed. See how that works? Okay. We're going to do that in another tutorial. I'm going to show you how to build that in my next episode. But for now, I think we're going to call it good. That is your basic primer in Redstone Mechanics. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. Likes and subscriptions help me out immensely. Trying to build the viewer base on YouTube, and also trying to do some things to to get out there, to get noticed. So again, hope you liked it. Please leave a like if you did. Make sure to subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.